Hey guys, Mike here. So, what a day in the market. I mean, I don't know if you want to call it an interesting day, a weird day, a crazy day, whatever it is. What it is two things. One, it's a profit taking day, and two, it's a rotation day for sure. And you can clearly see it on the charts. But we'll get into that. We'll get into Netflix, and the one thing about the chart I showed either in Sunday's video or Monday's members video was this trend line goes back 4 years. The question is, did we break that trend line or not? Because that's really all that matters on the Netflix chart. We'll also go into where all that money from the high beta stuff is going to as well. And we will start off with this, showing no surprise that where is the weekly ETF flow still going? Right back in the large caps. Did it last week, did it this week. This is what you normally see, especially in October, because they're the safe havens. They have all the cash, can't go out of business. Heaviest weighted ETFs. You also see it still going into bonds. A lot of went into precious metals as well. We'll talk about gold and silver because the reactions on Twitter are tripping me out. But again, what did the S&P do? What did the Qs do? Flat. They got about 0.2, 0.3% away from all-time high. Oil's up. But look at this right here. QQEW set an intraday new all-time high. Couldn't hold it, but it was an intraday new all-time high. The Dow, new intraday all-time high. Couldn't close there. You see the small caps are down for a reason. We'll talk about that. But of course, what allowed this was the VIX crush. I mean, this thing is down massively in 3 days. Okay, almost 40% drop now. And we're below, or we closed below 18. And so that's a good thing if you're a bull. We'll see if it's going to get a bounce or not. Again, when I look at this, people don't try to chart it. I do just for the fun of it. I want to see what happens when it hits this trend line. It's filling that fair value up right there. So I just want to see it. I've seen it happen in the past. We'll see, though. But again, if this thing continues to push down and break through that trend line, then yes, we should be going to new all-time highs, assuming that the market loves what these mega caps have to say, okay? And they don't end up reporting like Netflix types earnings, okay? And another thing, as I told members, today was the laggers day, okay? Companies that had been lagging, stocks that had been down, not really enjoyed the ride up during this whole 2025 crazy move up, and they were green today, especially like CRM, which we'll go into in detail. Also had gold, finally, gravity takes effect here, it drops down. You got silver, it finally drops down. And silver basically did the same thing gold did a while back, and I'll show you, right? So it comes down here, it's down about 12%. People are like, oh my God, oh. And you just look over here, what happened? Well, it eclipsed this long time high over here, shockingly, and it dropped. Like, that's what normally happens. And that high had held for quite a while, about 14 years. And so this is what you see. Gold did it multiple times. Okay, so this is absolutely normal. As you can see with gold, that high held for a long time, clipped it, boom, sold off about, what was it, 18% right there. Next time, ended up selling down between 15 and 20. Next time, and then finally, once it closed above it and maintained its support, you got this insane run up. This isn't crypto, this isn't high beta stuff, this is gold, okay? A gold ETF, by the way, 118%. And yet it drops and people go, oh my God, look at them, they're running to the stores trying to sell their gold, and it's like, oh boy. And again, I don't know those videos like we were talking about yesterday, if they were people buying gold. Some of you guys told me that the stores aren't buying it. They don't want to take it back at these prices, which makes total sense, doesn't it? I mean, you would think, unless you think it's going to 6, 7, 8,000, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I saw the videos today too, where people just like lining up in Australia going, here, take my gold. I don't know. I mean, if I was a store, I wouldn't buy it at these prices either, unless they got some inside knowledge it's going to be going way higher. Which could be the case, but it's called a pullback, folks. It's called profit taking. I mean, this thing has gone up insanely, especially gold. And remember, silver is the opposite. Like, the central banks ain't buying silver. Central banks are buying gold, right? So, silver is a whole different ballgame. And silver can absolutely, it just has these crazy drops on it. But we'll see. I mean, all the precious metals pull back. It wasn't just these two. Every one of them, palladium, you name it, all of them did a pullback. Okay, and so, but they've ran insanely, and so congratulations to whoever's taking profit there. Now, the high beta stuff we talked about, what seemed like for weeks. I mean, is gravity ever going to take effect? Well, it always does. And like I said, these are going to drop quick, and that's just the way it is. You can see this right here, 1,200% in 194 days, right? It's one of these low float stocks, 338% in a month. And then all of a sudden, boom, just like that, within 5 days, it's down 58%. And some news came out on this one about some government contracts or something like that. This is just one of the really popular ones that's out there. You look over MP. This is a different one because it actually functions and we actually need it. But the more news comes out about contracts with Australia and these other countries, it makes it less important, so it drops on that. You need like China to come out and say we're restricting rare earth minerals, right? Look at Rocket Labs though. This thing's holding up like crazy. And that trend line, since I put it in there about a month and a half ago, is just money. I mean, that thing has been rejecting every time. If it gets above that, and turns out into support, man. But it's held up really well compared to all these others. I'm going to throw a quick trend line as I can see right here. That's a rising wedge. TEM, not bad. TEM, it's held up really well. Irene's a big one because everybody thought it was going to hold the 20 SMA or 21 EMA, and it cut right through it today. Let me get rid of that. It's broke. And a lot of these, like I said, I showed you guys, or the members, whoever, have been breaking these trend lines and 9 EMAs. So of course, they're going down 25, 30% right now. And they go down quick, right? They're up in crazy amounts. People are up 500, 600, 700%. So yeah, they're going to be trimming, right? NNE, that's down 31%. RGTI is another one. And especially these quantum computing stocks, serve down about 25%. It's not too bad. You look over at BBAI, that's the popcorn I got asked about in multiple Saturday videos, down about 26%. QuantumScape, which got earnings tomorrow, I believe, it's actually holding up much better than you would think right here. It's down 20%. Again, breaking that trend line, breaking the 9 EMA, that is. EOS holding up really good. They had good news this morning, 15%. It would be way down, but it was like 15% pre-market. APLD is a very popular one. This one's holding up pretty well. I mean, down 20%, breaking that trend line, breaking the EMA. And so we're going to see how much more, they want. And that's really what you got to look at is these EMAs, right? So you can do the 21 EMA, you can do the 20 SMA, 9 EMA, whatever you want to do. You see a lot of these, or some of these at least, hadn't even tested the 20 or 21 moving average right there. A lot of them have. Some of them have broken it, like BBAI, okay, and that might even get a bearish cross down, but we'll see. Look over at MP, has broke all of them. Rocket Lab, not even close to the 20 or 21. TEM has not. Like I said, Irene cut through its today. No surprise there. Oklo, it is bouncing off its right now, coming into the golden pocket. LEU is sitting on top of the moving averages. NNE has broke its 20/21, whichever one you like. RGTI is sitting on it. MBIS, yeah, actually got a bearish cross down. Not that it really matters, but yeah, it cut right through that. A hot knife through butter. Joby right here, yep, it just cut right through it. Service sitting right on top of the 20/21. And of course, where did all the money go? Well, it looks like it went into one place in particular, and that is, drum roll, Beyond Meat. I mean, 649% in 5 days. Remember this one? Got all the way down to 40 cents. I assume one of those trading groups has something to do with this, Reddit or whoever. I mean, but this thing has just been death. And you look at the volume, I mean, it's just been flowing into this thing. So, I mean, people are still buying today. It's gapping up like 30% every day. We'll see how long it lasts. I mean, it's obviously a short squeeze. And you look at the contracts. My God, 8% of all contracts traded today were Beyond, more than NVIDIA and Tesla combined, okay? And I love this meme right here. It's like MBIS, quadruple U, Irene, CoreWeave, and looking down there. I don't know if it's a prison. I don't know if it's a grill or what that is. Beyond jumping up down saying, let us out, let us out. Because obviously we know the company's hot garbage. I mean, you ain't gonna be 40 cents a share and be dropping all these years if you're not. It's just, you get down there, enough people start pushing into this thing, especially taking all these profits out of these. I mean, they're, like I said, massive profits, and start pushing into this thing. We'll see how long it goes for. We'll see how long Beyond Meat goes for. But yeah, I mean, amazing to see that. Congratulations if you've been a part of those 30% gap ups and everything. So, we'll see where these other ones find, these theme stocks, right? Because Beyond Meat's a meme stock, not a theme stock. And so the other ones are theme stocks, energy, batteries, that kind of stuff. And so we'll see where they find a bottom at. But speaking of Netflix, this trend line right here goes back to July 2022. The big question is, when they reported and dropped, did they end up breaking that trend line? And the answer is no. Okay, because there's around like 1147 was the bottom of the drop for now. And then when we go back to regular trading hours and look at it, it's around like 1132, 1134 is where the trend line actually is. And so it did not break that. I was looking to see if it was going to break it, but it did not. So the question is, are we going to continue just to wedge now for the next few days or weeks or whatever it is? But there's that trend line. And it got close, but, not quite. It got on that fib to the penny and bounced for now. We'll see what happens on the call. Again, the earnings weren't good. But for them, they can say, hey, it wasn't bad, right? I mean, missing EPS by more than $1 is probably not a good thing, but still, we'll see how the market wants to react tomorrow with it. Now, CRM, Salesforce, we've covered this because you guys kept asking about it in Saturday's video multiple times. It's, finally breaking out that trend line, and we'll talk about this. I got anchor VWAPs on here. These are very powerful, okay? You've heard me talk about these before. So we got the all-time lows, we got the highs here. These should be resistance as it comes up. We'll also talk about some moving averages. I got the resistance marked out at the levels here. And so, again, as soon as they hit it today, we got rejected there. If you pull up the moving averages, again, the 200 is above this. So now we're above the 50, we're above the 100. And so that 50 needs to turn up and start heading up. But again, right here, you can see this right here is what needs to be support. So if it does come back down anywhere from like 250, 750 to 260, really needs to be turned into a support. If it closes below that, there's a chance it starts turning that into resistance. Maybe it starts trading sideways. Again, needs to hold the 100 moving average, which you can see has been resistance, okay? But if it can hold that, get above the 268 area, you got the 200 moving average, the all-time anchor VWAP over there as well. And so why do we care about 200? Look at the resistance. Multiple slap downs, big slap downs, okay? So you can bet money unless there's some kind of news or something coming out at that moment, the gap above it, that is going to be resistance, same as the anchor VWAPs, okay? And they already had a core we've announced last week, didn't work. Then they had another announcement that finally got it to pop some. And so, be looking for more money to start rotating in these kind of companies. They're laggers, but the biggest thing is going to be, for this one, I don't think it reports earnings like anytime soon. And so really don't have much of a catalyst to watch here. So, we'll keep an eye on it, but watch these kind of stocks, okay? Now, Amazon, once again, it's amazing to see this. But here we are with all these outages yesterday, pulling a Microsoft / CrowdStrike. Didn't seem to matter. The market's like, forget about it, let's go. You held the 200, so boom, we're gonna go. It got up this trend line, got rejected at the trend line, which obviously has a lot of influence with the 100 and that Fibonacci level right there. Also, that 4-hour fair value gap I marked out for you guys. So it makes sense that it stopped right there. Okay, so I'm not gonna be surprised if there's a pullback right there because it did not close, not a convincing close, that is, above it. And so I'm not gonna be surprised at all about that. If it can get above it and mitigate this 4-hour fair value gap, the 50 moving average is right around 225.50 right there. Again, that box up above is where it was resistance before. It's been support in the past, and so that'll be another level you gotta watch out for. Remember, Amazon is not moving like Tesla, doesn't move like Nvidia, okay? And so I'm not expecting, unless some crazy news comes out or they just blow through earnings next week, which they have, I don't expect some crazy, just green candle after green candle after green candle up. But today it did have, some call volume behind it, about 41 million. Again, you're not gonna see 100 million on Amazon hardly ever. And then it kind of plateaued out after that, about 3 hours in. So let me apologize for saying yesterday that Amazon affected thousands of websites because actually 76 million websites run off the Amazon Web Services infrastructure. So they've definitely grown this thing, especially after 2020, boy. Well, they really blew this thing up. So a lot of websites were affected. That's what's amazing to see the price of stock go up, which usually signifies a bottom. So let's see if it holds. Now, you might have heard OpenAI launches ChatGPT Atlas worldwide. This is going to be a web browser to rival Google. You can see Google really didn't care. It dropped right out of the gate, but it hit this trend line. This trend line goes back to July of last year. See multiple hits. It hit it to the penny, also the top of that channel right there, and bounced. Okay, people started running in with the calls, holding it up. Again, it's been one of the best performers, if not the best performer, of the Mag 7 right here as of recently. And so they didn't seem too scared of the ChatGPT or OpenAI web browser. So we'll see if that's going to continue or not. Now, earnings tomorrow, you're going to end up with GE Vernova, going to have Hilton, AT&T, and then in the afternoon, some of the big boys, you're going to have Tesla, IBM, QuantumScape right there, which has been running, Alcoa, and of course Lam's been going crazy as one of the semiconductors right there. And so we'll look for those tomorrow. And then when it comes to data, well, let's see. Crude oil inventories. That is it. And so unless the government opens back up, that data is going to continue to be minimized, I guess. So anyway, hope you guys got some out of it. Please hit that like, subscribe button on your way out. Let me know how you made it out right there. If you want to sign up for the membership, just hit the first link in the description. That's everything you get with it. $7.99, less than a McDonald's combo, as you can see. And I will see you guys tomorrow for another fun one.